right, so let's get into it. We're just in here chatting. All right, so how are you, Mahalia?
I'm good.
Did I pronounce it right?
It's Mahalia.
Mahalia.
No, but you know what? I'm kind of used to it out here.
Yeah.
Because everybody says they are. Everybody out here says Mahalia. Same in Australia. Most people say Mahalia. Everybody in the UK says Mahalia. Everybody tends to get it right at home.
Yeah.
But I really don't mind.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
No, it's not bad.
Like, I just really don't.
But I will say it's your name, so people should
I know, it's true. You know? Yeah. I should correct people, but I'm too British. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Yeah.
I want to ask you how you've been, or how this current chapter of your life has been unfolding.
I think I've been quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel this is the first tour where I haven't felt like I'm going out of my mind. Like sometimes, you know, like being on a tour bus for weeks and weeks and weeks with a bunch of people is really intense.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I feel really calm. I feel quite happy at the minute. Like, it's been really lovely to be able to see people's response to my second album, because you just have no idea. You know, you put it out into the world and then you're kind of so focused, like so hyper focused on numbers, because everybody else is, and then you forget about the love for it and like how people might be connecting with it. So it's been really nice to just get back in tune with that. But honestly, I'm having a really fine time. Like, nothing feels too heavy at the minute, which is good. I think the only thing I think that's like affecting me, to be honest, like just on a human level, is I think so many parts of the world are in crisis. And I think that's the only thing that I kind of can't get away from. But on a personal level, I'm doing good. I'm still doing therapy once a week.
Okay. I was going to ask you about that. So we're going to get to that. But I do want to ask, you said it's very easy for you to like focus on the numbers. I know you dropped your debut studio album right before the pandemic hit. The fall before the pandemic hit. So I want to know, going through the challenges of just navigating that time and in isolation, do you feel like you've kind of, your perspective on releasing stuff, do you feel like it's kind of transformed? Or do you feel like, I know there was also a point in time where you said you were very like insecure about your voice. So has that changed as well since then?
So the stuff about my voice changed when I stopped smoking. So I was a smoker for 7 years.
Smoking
cigarettes. Okay. Yes. Weed, I wish, but weed is also illegal in the UK. So even if it was that, I couldn't say that. But no, I was a cigarette smoker. I think where I'm from a really kind of small city in the UK. It's called Leicester, and the town that I grew up in, that's kind of what everybody did. So I think I was a bit of a people pleaser as a kid, so I think I kind of bowed to peer pressure quite easily, and then I became a smoker. And that had a huge effect on my voice that I didn't realize was there. But also I think the insecurity came because I think, like, you know, so I never saw myself as like a great singer. I always loved singing, but I loved writing songs more. So for me, the focus was just about writing songs. And I grew up with all the greats. So like my mum would have me listening to like Aretha and Erica and Lauren and Jill Scott and Angie Stone. And then I found Mahalia Jackson when I got a bit older, and I knew that I was named after, like, I was basically surrounded by all of these women with these powerhouse voices. And I didn't feel like I had that. So I didn't know how to slot in, really. And then I think when I got probably in my teens, I started learning about tone and how important tone is. And then I started listening to people like Billie and like Amy Winehouse and like Corinne Bailey Rae and looking at those women and going, well, they weren't doing all the same kind of big stuff, but they had these tones that were so beautiful on the ear. So I think, I don't know, I think that insecurity started quite young, and then it went away. And then I think it came back with the pandemic. I think with the rise of TikTok, we were seeing, you know, all of these like vocal challenges and like singers going viral because they were doing these crazy runs. And I was like, I really can't do that. Like, and I would love to be able to. And I definitely think we're in an era of singers. And I think it's amazing watching those people shine and come through.
Yeah.
But I can't do it. So then I have to figure out what's my thing that makes people want to listen to my voice.
Exactly.
And I think that's kind of where my insecurity was. But I do think that in relation to what you were saying about like the album coming out before COVID and then being shut inside, not being able to go to the studio, not being able to connect on stage, I think those insecurities really came to the surface. Yeah. I think we all have small insecurities like that in our careers and what we do, but they don't feel big until you're, smacked with something like a pandemic.
Yeah.
So it was a really tough time. It was like, I think my whole life, all I've wanted to do is tell stories through music. And I think being told that you can't do that physically, like in the real world, I think was really, really difficult for me. I think that was a crazy time. So confronting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I want to talk about this new album.
Yes.
IRL. What inspired the name of that?
COVID.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Totally, just like everything. I'm technically a part of Gen Z, but I feel like a millennial baby. My brothers, I do have one younger brother, but my two older brothers, I really grew up alongside them, and they're quite a bit older than me. All my friends are older. All my references feel more kind of the millennial generation than the Gen Z generation. So I think when COVID hit, I really struggled with the screens thing. Like every conversation being through Zoom, or like remember a house party when you'd like I just didn't enjoy that time. I'm a very in real life type of person. I like to experience things. I like to go and see my friends instead of FaceTiming my friends, that kind of thing. It came from basically everything not being in real life. In the UK, it was for the first stretch of lockdown was 6 months. And I just think that is such a long time to like not see friends. I mean, you could see, we had this thing in the UK, I don't know if you had it here, but where you could see your bubbles. So like there were like, say me and like my boyfriend and like my best friend were a bubble. We could see each other, but only outside of the house.
Got it.
And we were allowed an hour outside every day.
That is so organized. Atlanta cannot relate. We were locked down for 2 weeks.
No.
And then we were right back outside.
No.
At the clubs, smoking hookah. Like nothing happened.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah, very unruly state, Georgia.
No. Ours was. It was 6 months to start, and I was in it. So I was in a different relationship. I was with my ex, and our relationship broke down, and I wasn't connecting with anyone. And then we came out of it for a couple of months, but even that, we didn't come out fully. We were like allowed to go to a restaurant and sit outside. Okay. But still, it was very contained. Yeah. I couldn't go to the studio. I didn't know when I was going to do a live show again. It felt like everything was in the air.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when it came to writing the album, in real life felt like the perfect way to enter back into the world.
Would you say like you're an extroverted person? Because personally, as an introvert, I didn't mind staying inside.
Neither did I.
Okay.
I am for sure an introverted extrovert, which I only really an extroverted introvert, which I only actually learned when I started therapy. Okay. I think COVID probably taught me that. I love the time. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I'm like, I would love a little lockdown for like a month. You know, I love the time at home. I got a dog, which I wanted. I got a little French bulldog. I actually don't have her anymore. When me and my ex split, he had
custody.
Do you know what it was? I was 21 and I was like, I don't think I want to have shared custody of a dog at this age.
Like, I'm not ready for a baby.
No.
Yeah, being a single mom is hard.
It is.
Wow. Okay. So your music, it seamlessly blends, different genres. You got R&B, you got pop, you got soul, you got a little bit of dance hall,
Yeah.
maybe some hip hop. How do you feel like your sound has evolved over the years?
Oh, I think I'm just much less afraid now to like show all sides of me.
Mhm.
I think when I put my first album out, and then what you did with Ella Mai did
Mhm.
really well. I think I started to get like, I think I started to freak out that I could only make music like that because that was the song that did well.
Oh.
Which I think maybe sometimes does happen to artists. I think we get in our heads about what people want to hear.
Mhm.
But then I realized like I'm inspired by so much different music, and like, you know, and it could be anywhere from pop to R&B to dance to like electronic to dancehall to Afrobeat to definitely hip hop. Like hip hop, I feel like has been in my veins since I was a kid because of my brothers. So I think I just was really, I think it's evolved in the sense that now I'm just like, I'm gonna make whatever makes me feel good, and if people don't deem that as being R&B, that's totally fine. I think a lot of artists now are fluid in genre, you know, because I don't think it's the same as before. I don't think you can so easily call somebody one genre, because I think there's so much music now in the world that we all take in and that we all connect to. So I think that's been the main difference. I just feel very unafraid now, which I like, to be honest. And I've kind of, particularly because I've started writing again, I've gone back to being a little bit more unserious with my writing, which I'm enjoying.
Yeah, I noticed that sometimes in your songs. I'm like, what the hell did she just say? Yeah, I can see that. That makes me think, how do you know personally if a song is a hit for you?
I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't. So when I wrote, okay, so let's take What You Did, for example. When I wrote What You Did, I had been in LA for 6 weeks, and I had been doing loads of sessions, kind of like 1 to 2 sessions a day. And then it was my final day and I was about to fly home. And I went in with Pop, who produced it, Pop Wanzel. We went into the studio just for like, it was like a really short session because I was flying home that night, and I started writing it. And after I wrote it, I remember like my team at the time didn't really like it. And I was like, I love it, but if you guys don't like it, then we should talk about it. What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. And then when Ella messaged me about being on the album and I sent her that song, I don't think I thought in my mind, this is a smash. Yeah. I just thought, I think you'll sound really beautiful on this song. I never expected it to do that. I never thought it would do that. Honestly, I don't know. I don't even know if people know what a hit is anymore. Yeah. Because we see so much stuff kind of come through, and like, you know.
I think now it's kind of more so shifted towards social media.
For sure.
So it's like, you know, if it blows up online, then it must be a hit.
Exactly.
But that's also subjective.
Yeah.
So, you know, there really
and also,
is no way.
because there's been some weird stuff that's blown up.
And it's very temporary. It doesn't stay around for long.
No.
So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ella Mai, that song, you sample "Oh Boy" by Cameron. You love a sample, okay? Can you share a bit about your approach to sampling and like how these nostalgic influences like really contribute to the storytelling?
For sure. I mean, so first and foremost, sampling to me has always been a really careful process. People that, like, you know, we're kind of in the age where like people sometimes will sample just for no reason. Yeah. And I get quite confused by it because I'm like, what does that song add to what you're saying? Yes. Yeah. So for me, sometimes it works differently. Sometimes a producer will just bring me a beat and I'm like, whoa, I did not know that you could flip it like that. That's amazing. And then we might ride on it. But when it comes, so like, for instance, I remember when we kind of lyrically sampled 50 Cent in the club on my last EP. And I remember, like, as we were writing it, somebody, I think it was, so I write a lot with my boyfriend, and I think he started singing in the club over the chords, and I was like, God, that's really cool. And then because of the subject matter, we tried to figure out a way how we could relate that song to what we were talking about. So for me, it's a constant conversation. Yeah. And if a sample doesn't make sense, then I don't think we should use it. Yeah. So I don't know. I think for me, it's always been about what feels good. I definitely, with sampling, I like to go nostalgic. I like to go either early 2000s or late 90s, just because that's kind of what I would hear at the cookout, or like what I would hear in the kitchen when my mum was making dinner, or just, I like to sample things that remind me of a time in my life, you know?
Yeah.
And I just, like sometimes I hear some samples and I'm like, I don't know if you needed to use, like, I don't know if that's adding to the art, you know? But sampling's tough.
It is.
And dangerous.
It is.
It's very...
and expensive.
It is expensive. Yeah. It is.
Speaking of that nostalgia aspect, you had JoJo on this album for your song Cheat. And I know that you said you were kind of having some trouble really pushing it to your label. They didn't really see what you were seeing. Why was that? I
don't know. I think the UK is just really different. Yeah, like musically, I think that their influences and their kind of references aren't the same as mine. I think a lot of my references are probably more tailored to the US, because I grew up on mainly American R&B and hip hop. So that it was just, it's funny because I think they really saw it. When it was done, delivered, video done and released, I think they really understood it. But in the moment, I don't know if they got it. Yeah,
I know here I'm not as familiar with the UK music scene as I am with the music scene here, but old school versus new school is a very big thing, regardless of the genres. But especially like in hip hop, it's like a lot of old heads that are pissed that the young people don't know certain things. Is it like that in the UK?
No, I don't even know if we have no, not really. No? That kind of old school, new school thing doesn't really exist.
Okay, so to be honest, just America that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Got it.
I do remember when I put my first album out and I was coming over here to do interviews and stuff, I did notice if I didn't know certain things, DJs were really, really cussing me. But I was like, sir, first of all, I live in the UK. Second of all, I was born in 98.
Yeah.
I'm still catching up. But I definitely do feel that here. Yeah, no, that doesn't exist at home.
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay. What's have you been, how long, okay, did you just get to Atlanta today?
Yes.
Okay. So you haven't really had time to have you ate?
No.
Oh my God. Okay, you're going to go eat tonight, right?
Probably.
After the show? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that, when you're on the road like this and you're not at home, is there anything that you miss from back home, like any dish?
I just miss cooking.
Oh, okay.
I really miss cooking. I miss Caribbean foods. I was actually looking today on Uber Eats.
We have a bunch over here.
I know. I found 20, which is kind of mad because most cities out here you won't find 20.
Oh well, no. Atlanta has a very huge Afro-Caribbean population. So
because I found the best so far. I found the best here. New York and Toronto, but that makes sense. Of course, yeah. No, I cook every night at home.
Oh wow!
So when I'm on the road, I find it quite hard, just because I'm I want to stand over a cooker and make some dinner.
Oh wow!
You know. Also, because sometimes ordering food, you're always using plastic fork. It's so silly, all the things that.
Or if they get the order wrong, then it's
Also, I just think when you're cooking at home, you know exactly how you like something. You know exactly what you're putting in your food. But yeah, that's the only thing that I think I really miss. But I miss crumpets.
Really?
Which is a British staple.
Okay, could you explain? I've heard of crumpets, but can you explain what it is?
So a crumpet, it's I wouldn't call it a pastry. It's like a dough. So it's God, what is a crumpet? Because it's kind of rubbery. It's almost like an English muffin.
Okay.
But it's not. So it's not like bread. Actually, I have got no idea. But let's say it feels like bread. But in the top, there's all these little holes that has it's like tiny little air pockets. And you toast it, and then you put butter on top.
Okay.
Some people put jam and stuff, but I'm just a butter crumpet girl with Worcestershire sauce.
Okay.
Which is just wow! I really miss that.
Yeah. I have to ask, what's with the beans?
That is so funny. I got asked this literally 2 days ago in Austin. That is so silly.
I mean,
So beans on toast, I also miss a lot.
Okay.
So beans, Okay, what I know is that you guys can't do beans. I found
we can do like baked beans. So when we have like barbecues or cookouts, we'll do like baked beans.
It's a similar thing. It's kind of similar, but it's more like tomatoey.
Okay.
So it's like that. Like, yeah, like it's more tomatoey than that.
Okay.
Because I've had that, and there's like, it could be a bit spicy. There's like
kind of like a barbecue-y taste. Yeah,
that's lovely. This is different.
Okay.
Although when I make my beans, so you'll literally get like a Heinz tomato beans.
Okay.
And you'll heat it in like a saucepan. Most people just will have that on like some toast. Me, I add a lot of stuff to it. So I'll add like onions and garlic.
Oh.
I'll probably add chili.
Okay.
I'll add a bit of barbecue sauce or like some sort of barbecue.
Busy.
Yeah. So I probably make it more like how you guys like it. But beans is a staple. It's a staple.
Is it like gassy over there? Do you guys get gassy?
Yeah, from beans. Yeah, for sure.
But you still okay.
That's why they say beans are good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart.
Right.
You never heard that?
No. But I did hear that cow farts are fucking up the ozone layer.
They are.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you heard.
That's what that's what the streets are saying. I don't know.
That is true. What is it?
Yeah.
Is it
it's like
methane? Methane?
Yeah, methane. Yes.
It's completely fucking up everything.
Yeah. Thank God they don't eat beans. We'd really be fucked.
That is so funny.
I saw your necklace. As a fellow Jamaican, we were just talking about this. As a fellow Jamaican, what's your favorite Jamaican dish?
It changes. Is that okay?
That's okay.
It changes.
If you were stranded on an island, just
and it was the last thing.
It was the last thing you.
The exact thing. So I would have curry goat.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably have my curry goat with white rice.
Okay.
I would have rice and peas with every other dish, but with curry goat, I like it with white rice.
I think curry is good with white.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Curry goat with white rice, 2 festivals. I'd have to have mac and cheese, but it has to be done in the Jamaican way, where it's almost like a mac and cheese pie.
Baked.
Yes.
You know, we get a really bad rep for our mac and cheese.
It's not great.
It's not great.
It's
but
sloppy.
I don't mind like the kind of dry baked
that's what I love
thing, you know.
But for me, it's when I I was in Texas and I went to get barbecue and I got mac and cheese and it's like that really wet.
Runny.
That I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
But no, I like the baked, like where the cheese is kind of hardish on top.
And there's like a crispiness on top as well, yeah.
I also cannot stand breadcrumbs on mac and cheese.
Oh, no. I don't like that either.
What is that?
That's definitely an American thing.
Right.
I would not recommend that.
No, some people at home do that too, but I just always thought that was a Caucasian thing.
Okay, yes. I want to be nice. I didn't want to say it, but yeah, that's what
Don't worry.
is.
Because my dad's white and like even he is just like, what the hell is this? It'd be curry goat. I make a mean curry goat.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I miss as well.
I've never heard that before. I usually hear like chicken because chicken's easier to cook.
No,
but
I do.
Goat, since it's a little more tougher,
it's intense.
You kind of have to let it simmer,
Yeah. So I'll do curry goat on a Sunday for my guy. And it would take me, the whole cook is about 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
long.
Thing. Yeah.
But on a Sunday it's cute. And I'll marinate the meat
early,
on Saturday
right?
night.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've come home from the club.
And start I love that responsible adult.
At like 4 a.m. and I will put my gloves on and marinate my meat drunk in the kitchen.
Working woman. I love that.
But yeah, so curry goat, white rice, steamed cabbage, festivals, and mac and cheese, but the right mac and cheese.
No plantain.
Potentially. Okay. Me and plantain have got a weird relationship.
Okay. Why?
Because my mum makes the best for me.
Okay.
I don't like when plantain's too oily.
Okay.
You know?
Right.
Sometimes you order it from a different place and it's oily.
It's oily or it's too soft.
Yeah.
It's overripe.
Right. You need it right in the middle. And my mum does it perfectly. So if I could, my mum's plantain. Mm-hmm. And if we're stretching it to a side, then I would have a lamb patty.
Okay. No, listen. If you're staying on an island, eat all you can, okay? I would expect that. But since we're talking about your parents, I have to ask. This is a very silly question, but I'm going to ask. Have you ever seen like those tweets? Are you active on Twitter?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. I read more than I tweet.
Yeah, of course. Have you ever seen like those jokingly those tweets where they're talking about like the race war?
No.
You never heard of it?
Wait. No. Explain, because maybe I have.
So it's kind of like this ongoing joke that eventually there will be like a race war when all of this is over, whenever that day comes. And we kind of all have to, you know, pick a side. So I have to ask.
Which side?
Which side would you pick?
My mum's side, my black side, every time. And my dad knows that too.
Okay.
I think my dad would kick us over there. I feel like, it's like, ever since I was a kid, it's weird, you know, because I think being dual heritage, you're kind of either being told, like, you're not white or you're not black.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so my parents always raised us to say that we were black. So I don't really use the term mixed race.
Yeah.
My mum's also like, there's only one race and I don't want you to talk about it in that way. And I totally get that. But also, you know,
technically,
yeah. So for me, I have always grown up through a very black lens.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mum, also I think the fact that I'm a woman and my mum is black, I relate to her more.
Right.
I probably see more of myself in her.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely be on the black side.
Yeah.
But also because I think, you know, it's very different in the UK. Like people love to divide everything up.
Yeah.
The UK is very mixed. So it's like, you know, you've got people walking around going, I'm a quarter and I'm a tenth. And I'm just like, this is mad. Like to me, if you have a black parent, you're black to me.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes I like it out here, because it's very much like that here. You don't question if somebody is mixed or not.
Mm-hmm.
You see color and you call it for what it is.
Yeah.
So, but I would be choosing, and that would also mean that I would be leaving my man behind, because my man, he's white Romanian.
Spicy white.
Thank you. That's what I say.
He's a spicy white.
That's what I say.
So he's not like Caucasian.
No.
So that doesn't count.
Wait, so you say that too?
Spicy white?
I said that the other day to these girls in LA, and they were like,
what the fuck?
But you know what? He really is, because when you date somebody who is white but cultured on one side of them, it's a very different experience.
It is.
Very different. Because I grew up in a super white town. So the boys that I used to grow up with, like, you know, like sometimes crushing on, they were very white boys.
Mm-hmm.
But my guy, he's bilingual.
Okay.
I also love it because his grandma, who still lives in Romania, at Christmas sends us these like jars of jam and food that she makes. And I'm like, oh, the first time I saw it, I said, oh, you're spicy. Yeah. Because
that's very
very spicy, and it's funny because
very ethnic thing to do. Very ethnic.
My dad though is like Irish British, proper white, but my dad is spicy white because he's the coolest motherfucker I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Like he's like one of those guys, you know, like he's always been. My dad's very, very, very cool, and I think actually growing up, I feel very lucky to be mixed and to grow up with a white father like him, because I think as a kid, you know, he was never like forcing that idea that you're black and you're white. He was always, I think in fact it was my dad who probably spoke to us the most about color and about how, you know, when you're in school you're going to have to work twice as hard, and like all of that stuff I think really came from him.
Yeah,
my mum did it too, but I feel like he
understood it.
He just understood it.
Yeah.
And then when it came to me dating my guy, my dad is always really on me about what it means to be a black woman dating a white man, and the ways that you have to train them.
For lack of a better word.
He was trained, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, I think you probably have to go soon.
Yeah, I know. I've got a meeting.
Okay. But thank you so much for your time. I love this conversation. I wish I could talk to you like all day.
I know, that was lovely though.
I will be at the show later tonight.
Oh,
so yes.
Thank you, babe.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
That was lovely.
And welcome to Atlanta, of course.